when those accomplishments happened. So instead, we're going to have a little bit of fun, and I'll tell you some stories about the James that you may not know. Stories that illustrate some of the many facets of James's sometimes cryptic personality. Now, James actually loves attention and cuddles, but he doesn't want you to know that. I think this comes from being a second son, cursed with the most adorable chubby cheeks when he was a baby. No one, and I mean no one, could walk past baby James and not give his cheeks a pinch, and when he cracked that little baby smile, also give him a big hug. As he got older, past the terrible twos, the adorable chipmunk cheeks shrank. And James developed other strategies to get attention. Indeed, what the psychologists call oppositional disorder. James would deliberately not do what he was told so that he could get the negative attention from his parents. Now, having a very direct parenting style, I took this behaviour on head on. One day, when James refused to comply, I think to apologise for some transgression, I picked him up, grabbed him by the heels, and dangled him over the swimming pool, telling him to apologise or he would get a winter swim. James looked at me, I looked at James, I gave him a final warning, and the ghost of a grin appeared on James's face. After which I promptly let him go, head first into the icy water. James got his attention that day, along with a nice cold shock. But in the weeks after that swim, the behaviour continued. So Kiri and I and his brothers took another tack, and we love-bombed him instead, which of course worked a treat. So James loves attention and affection, but he can sometimes go about getting it in the wrong ways. James also loves his technology, but he can sometimes get a little bit frustrated. When those two things mix, you get some very shocking results. Now, at one stage, Kiri and I had iPads, and we decided that to keep the big boys amused, we gave James a Samsung tablet for music and games. The problem was that James was used to his mother's iPad and found that using an Android device was different and indeed frustrating. So frustrating, in fact, that James, being the willful little bugger that he was, decided that if his Samsung tablet had an accident, then he was likely to receive a new Apple device at Christmas. Now, the accident occurred on a family holiday at Durham Heads. James sheepishly presented Kiri and I with a busted Samsung tablet. Now, what James didn't appreciate was that being a family holiday, there were plenty of cousins and sibling witnesses to the accident who gave us the heads up in advance as to what had actually occurred. It turns out that the accident was James throwing the Samsung tablet at the wall of the holiday house. Oh, it's busted!
And down the stairs. And down the stairs.
Fortunately, for all of us, James takes better care of his friends. In the hundreds of rugby games that Kiri and I watched over the years, we saw elements of James' character come through. He was tough, he didn't complain, and he worked hard. He also cared about his teammates and was generous. So much so that on more than one game I can remember, despite having made the break, being ball in hand with no defenders in sight, James would pass the ball to his mates so that they could get a try and share a bit of the glory. And that happened more than once. Now I can see that I've lapsed into extolling James's virtues, which means that it's time to wrap this up. Kiri and I are immensely proud of James, and we know that the future holds great things for him. A science degree is not too far away, and after that, who knows? What we do know is that there are a lot of people rooting for you, James. You are well loved, and we congratulate you on your 21st. And so, ladies and gentlemen, a quick toast to James.
To James! To the tablet.
Now, after I've finished embarrassing you, feel free to say anything you'd like to say, and if anyone wants to have a word, go ahead.
God's I thought you got away with that.
You can say it was last.
Oh, yeah. Skull, will you?
Oh. James Norton Kleichman. That is your middle name, right? Yes. No, okay.
Yes, that is correct.
Now, I'd be lying if I said I haven't prepared this, but here we go. Now, 21 years of you, big dog. Crazy to think that's how old you are, because that's definitely not how you act. But hey, there's always time to grow up. But tonight, that's not what we're aiming for.
First one.
We're aiming for you to get absolutely written off and for these guys to kick you out. Now, with the plethora of stories that you and I share from the past 21 years, I'm only going to share a couple, as a lot of them are probably far too incriminating for either of us to be shared. We have the standard times where you would ask me to buy alcohol for you and the boys, for random parties and sessions you would have. All the times when we would sneak out of the house once the oldies had gone to bed and get up to no good.
Oh, it's twice. How many?
But these past two decades have
How many?
certainly been a roller coaster of fuckery for you and I, and the odd occasion Harry's involved as well.
Oh.
Some of the memories that have stuck with me over the years have definitely included the times where you have the ability to annoy anyone in the family, especially me. Mum and Dad will remember this one. Maybe you guys do. There was a time when you had managed to annoy me so much that I ended up chasing you around the house with a machete. I don't remember what you were doing or how it was pissing me off, but geez, you were an annoying little rat.
Yeah.
Now, I promise it was only to scare you, but all I'll say is a good thing you were fucking fast back then. Now, being the middle child and being only 2 years younger than me, you certainly saw a lot and have been involved with me and my mates a lot as well. Which brings me to my next story. There once was a time as well when we hosted a few of the boys for a sleepover at ours when we lived back in Hills Mountain.
Oh, God. Okay. Do we need to go here?
Now, I'm not going to name names, but you know who you are. Mum and Dad, you guys had planned to
We
do
know
something
who
that
you
night,
are.
which meant we had the place to ourselves. And we're babysitting James and Harry for a few hours.
Oh, my God.
Now, I don't know why you guys trusted us with this, by the way, but nonetheless, we set up outside and we're mucking around and may have had a meeting with Mary Jane that night. In the midst of this meeting, we decided it would be extremely funny to bring James out and come and experience something new for scientific purposes. He very happily joined us when he found out what we were doing. This was the first and most certainly not the last time James indulged in the devil's lettuce. He was about 13 or 14.
Oh, Jimmy. Sorry, mate. We let you down.
Anyway, James, you've had a great time with this brother, and seeing you become the man you are today, it makes me very proud to be your brother. Seeing you, everyone here tonight, makes me very happy to see this, and it makes me proud to be your brother as well. And a big shout out to Emma. You've helped him become the man who he is today, and I wish you both the best for years to come. Thanks to all the family and boys coming out tonight, everyone for celebrating this vegetable's birthday. You've all had a great impact in this guy's life, and I am beyond grateful for that. Now, as I've said already, we've had many adventures together, and I'm excited to see what mischief we get up to in the future, big fella. Much love, let's get set.
The last sentence was great.
Rightio, while we're waiting for the next speaker, just another quick thank you, or a thank you to everyone who's travelled, particularly some of our relatives, beloved relatives. Thank you very much for coming along and for taking that effort to travel. So.